Hi, my name is Mary. Today FM plays the best music in Lambasa. Today FM rocks.
My name is Thomas. I'm here in Nakasi and I like to listen to Today FM because it rocks.
My name is Milenia. Today FM rocks here in Singatoka.
My name is Altriki and Today FM rocks here in Tavua.
My name is Mary Jane. I love listening to Today FM here in Ba. Today FM rocks.
My name is Ilay Tiambal and I love listening to Today FM. Today FM rocks.
In the news tonight, increased trade forces tighter border cooperation. Village contemplates relocation due to sea level rise. And police seek new ways to stop traffic violators.
From the studios of FBC Suva, Akosita Pale.
Increased trade and new markets are a boom to the Fijian economy, but with them come problems in border security. As the level of goods crossing our borders increases, so does the task of policing our border security. This has become a major concern, and various border agencies have decided they need an integrated approach and are looking at ways to work together to tighten the borders. Ali Kimbia reports.
Various border agencies have a major role to play, and with a high level of international activity, their work is more important than ever before.
Now more than ever is the time where we've got to come to cooperate and work together to achieve the outcome of protecting our people, providing that secure and prosperous society.
Engaging relevant agencies to discuss and map a way forward with the assistance from our international partners will also help eliminate the threat to our borders.
It goes back to the primary point of us being here today. It's how each of us brings to bear the unique operational work that our agencies do.
For Fiji, more coordination is vital to ensure that our borders are protected.
We've been working on that from the when we started off. It's not only the police, we have immigrations, the customs, the fisheries, because those are issues that we have challenges in order to keep our border safe.
With all the issues concerning our border security, the 3-day workshop will look at ways to strengthen our borders. Ali Kimbia, FBC News.
A village in the coast of Maduwata is contemplating relocating to a new site due to destruction caused by sea level rise. Eleanor Turangevu reports saltwater intrusion has over the decade also threatened their food security.
Nestled beneath Rocky Mountains and located beside the sea, Ravi Ravi village is one of the many coastal villages dealing with the effects of climate change.
That place that is now underwater, right to where the stones are, that was our plantation. We planted cassava and kumala there. The water level has increased quickly and it's destroyed our farms.
Ravi Ravi is home to 31 families who depend on the sea for their survival. Over the last 3 decades, the sea has taken up almost half of the village.
That stack of stones marks the spot where the graveyard was. The waves destroyed the graves and we had to pick up all the skeleton remains, put them in a hole and covered it with those stones. To this day, it's evidence that that spot was once dry land.
The villagers have over the years erected several barriers to act as a seawall, but the waves keep tearing them down. Pleas for a seawall have been falling on deaf ears.
There used to be several homes here, but due to this climate change, it's been taken down. Waves keep eroding our shoreline. The shoreline keeps moving in.
Landowners have identified a piece of land where they can relocate to, but the villagers saying moving all the homes will be too costly. With the help of NGOs, the villagers have started mangrove planting to save the village shoreline from further eroding. Eleanor Turangevu, FBC News.
Relationship and behavioral problems are two top issues that have been brought to the attention of Lifeline Fiji this year. Officer in charge Jeremiah Merekula says they received more than 500 calls in the first 7 months, and half of these were reports about the two issues. Savera Tambua reports.
Lack of commitments shown by parents to their children is one of the main contributing factors to social issues that is committed by many youths.
Family time is something that we have to drag back, because that is the only first support network before, an individual goes out. And I think the first person or the first individual that has to recognize that is the family, your family support network.
Relationship problems between young, old, and even married couples is another problem that has been highlighted by Lifeline. National Substance Abuse Advisory Council Chief Executive Mano Senikarao says everything starts from home and there needs to be constant communication between parents and their children as well as couples.
We need to have that open line of communication with our children, because when they face difficulties, they need to be able, they should feel free to share with us.
Meanwhile, Lifeline Fiji is working to support Fijians in times of crisis and equipped individuals and communities to be resilient. Savera Tambua, FBC News.
50 people have died on our roads to date this year compared to 47 for the same period last year. A recent incident that saw a farmer die after being hit by a 12-wheeler truck in Wanikoro, Lambasa while walking along the road has raised serious concerns. Are the authorities doing enough to enforce strict road rules? Harsh penalties against traffic infringements doesn't seem to be working, and the police force is looking at new ways to deal with the growing issue.
But speeding is a big problem for us. We have huge stats on that so far this year, and it's a challenge for us, and we need to get out there to deal with it. We can deal with it, and we will deal with it.
The police commissioner says they need to come up with innovative ideas to deter drivers from beating the system. It's been discovered drivers are sharing information via social media chat groups on the location of enforcement officers.
There have been red spots identified around the areas, but we are having accidents now and fatalities outside of those red spot areas. So people know where these red spots are. People know where we normally position ourselves. So we have to be more flexible.
Meanwhile, the Land Transport Authority is calling on the public to utilize their texting platform 582 to lodge complaints.
Take pictures and send it to LTA, and we will make sure that those kind of incidents are investigated. And certainly, we have actually asked our enforcement officers to work in consultation with the police.
It's been noted that apart from speeding, drivers' attitude on the roads together with drunk driving are some of the major contributors to road fatalities. Motorists are advised to ensure they follow the road rules at all times. A 66-year-old dentist from Nandi today pleaded not guilty to charges of rape and sexual assault in the Suva High Court. The accused faces 5 counts of sexual assault and 6 counts of rape. It is alleged that on June 28th, he raped his 53-year-old sister-in-law in her home in Nasinu. It is alleged he asked the victim to rest at her home after attending a wedding in Suva, and when she was inside her bedroom, the suspect knocked on her door and forced himself on her. The matter has been adjourned to December 4th for a pre-trial conference. Bail has been extended for the accused. Still to come, elderly abandonment increases, and Foundation conducts over 23 heart surgeries. Details after the break.
Bula, nevang gomal kay leloma, ngongai nakas untuk makarong ng Bula FM, nambang 2 na sere.
Hoya ubasit sai Lambasa, ya untuk talita na warong ng Bula FM, nambang 2 na sere.
Guya do tumeli ako na tao no hinga toka, talita kina na warong ng Bula FM, nambang 2 na sere.
Warong tuma ng Bula FM, nambang 2 na sere nawaluan.
Nevang go fani na tao no singa toka, kita untuk talita kana Bula FM, nambang 2 na sere.
Bula FM, nambang 2 na sere.
More people are ignoring their responsibilities to care for the elderly and are leaving them in old age homes, says the Ministry of Poverty Alleviation. Permanent Secretary Dr. Josefa Koroivueta says many Fijians are finding it easy to leave their parents or grandparents at senior citizen homes or on the streets. Rachel Nath reports.
The ministry believes Fijians are losing their love, affection and attention towards the elderly members of their families.
We need to bring back that, because it is the real Fiji where we look after our older persons.
The PS says with Fiji's growing elderly population, it's important to develop an age-friendly culture now.
It begins in the family. You know, we need to train, we need to encourage our families that the older person belongs in their homes.
Those managing these homes have also voiced their concerns.
Initially they come with their children, and some of them
their children have moved on in life and they are left behind.
The ministry says demographics shows that by 2050 there will be a more elderly population in the country. Hence, it's important to instill age-friendly culture now. Rachel Nall, FBC News.
Meanwhile, the ministry today signed a memorandum of understanding with representatives from the National Council of Older Persons representing senior citizens' homes. The 8 homes have been given a portion of the $400,000 allocated to the NCOP in the 2018-2019 national budget. The homes include Senior Citizens Bar Community Center, the Suva Relief Trust and Pierce Home, the Society of St. Vincent de Paul, Housing Assistance and Relief Trust and Pierce Home, the Mother Obed Channel Home of Compassion and the Methodist Church of Fiji.
So it's an agreement whereby government, in partnership with them, provides them with funding, both for the operation and also for capital works, and basically to support the institution so that their basic standards of care that for the older persons are met.
The Friends of Fiji Heart Foundation has carried out around 550 heart surgeries since their first mission began in 2006. They're now on their 13th visit to Fiji, and the foundation founder and cardiac surgeon, Dr. Paramanand, says they've conducted more than 20 surgeries in the past few days. Kelly Vadala reports.
A heart surgery such as this could cost up to $80,000, but Friends of Fiji Heart Foundation has made it easier for many families.
So over the last 6 days, we have mainly operated on valvular heart disease patients, so mainly replacing the valves with mechanical metal valves and some tissue valves.
Dr. Paramanand says they're looking at assisting as many patients as possible with the least amount of expenses.
We are trying to capture these young patients between the age of say 13 years to 50 years of age.
Clinical perfusionist Gas Jabur, who's been coming to Fiji for 7 years now, says he's become close with the local patients.
And someone's pulling on my top, and there is a young boy and a young girl right next to me, and they're like, "Thank you," and I'm like, "Oh, you're very welcome." And next to them is their grandfather, and he said, "You saved their mum." And ever since then, I said, I have to come back.
My patients are usually older, so that here they're younger, they're smiling, and they need, my help.
Friends of Fiji Heart Foundation is a New Zealand registered charitable trust which has been carrying out various surgeries in the country since 2006, especially for those who cannot afford it or travel overseas. Kelly Badala, FBC News.
The Korean Community Association of Fiji says they have faced some backlash over the Grace Road Church saga. Speaking anonymously on behalf of the association, their spokesperson says while they have nothing to do with the church, some abuse have been hurled at them under the assumption they are Grace Road Church members. This comes after the Grace Road Church founder, Shin Ok-ju, was arrested in South Korea last month on allegations of illegal confinement and assault involving the estimated 400 church followers in Fiji. Maggie Boyle has more.
With this footage circulating showing physical and verbal abuse by the church founder on some of her congregation, non-followers and other Koreans living in Fiji, it appears, have also been affected.
We also show to the from Korea the television, and then many people have to something very shocking, and then.
The association spokesperson says their community of more than 1,200 is involved in various aspects of Fijian life and does not condone abuse of any kind.
The other Korean people, they are not involved to the Grace Road because it's only Grace Road. People, they have to come to their group, and then also we don't have much communication with them.
Meanwhile, the South Korean documentary Unanswered Question notes that despite the Korean police being in Fiji last month, none of the followers wanted to go back. Questions sent to Grace Road Church here remain unanswered. Maggie Boyle, FBC News.
A 31-year-old woman charged with one count of obtaining financial advantage by deception appeared in the Suva Magistrates Court this afternoon. It is alleged that between July 17th and the 24th in 2014, Elisapedi Twinamena received $4,900 cash from Anu Sharma but failed to return the money as promised. Twina Manners' bail has been extended until her next hearing on October 3rd. Further details about the Duke and Duchess of Sussex autumn tour of Fiji, Tonga, Australia and New Zealand have been released. The visit kicks off on October 16th in Sydney. Prince Harry and Meghan Markle have been invited to visit Australia and New Zealand by the countries' respective governments. They will visit Fiji and Tonga at the request of the Foreign and Commonwealth Office. The two-week program will focus on youth leadership, environmental and conservation efforts. And in sports later with Jamie, baseball future looks brighter in Fiji, but up next is Rachel with business.
Thanks, Akasita. Good evening, and coming up after the break. Freebird Institute declares interim dividend. And in growing Fiji, Fiji Ports reveals expansion plans. Stay with us.
Lola, I am Eleanor. For the best classic hits, I only listen to Gold FM here in Singapore. Gold FM, only the classic hits.
My name is Seni Rawa. I love listening to Gold FM here in Nosuri. Gold FM, only the classic hits.
My name is Dino. I'm from Outrigger, Coral Coast, Singapore. I love listening to Gold FM, only the classic hits.
My name is Salote. I love listening to Gold FM here in Nosuri. Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Bula, my name is Marida. Gold FM plays the best classics here in Outrigger, Singapore.
Gold FM, only the classic.
In business tonight, Freebird Institute Limited has declared an interim dividend of 7 cents per share for the 6 months ending June 30th. This results in a return of 2.41% for the shareholders. Executive Chair Hiroshi Taniguchi says the company faced several challenges in the first half of the year with a decline in student numbers of 14%. Taniguchi says this was mainly due to the continuous growth in the Japanese economy, which created more employment opportunities for graduates or for those seeking better jobs. He says they're now working to market the institute in non-Chinese markets such as Russia and China, where the demand for English language courses is still very prominent. He says with direct flights to Japan being revived by Fiji Airways, the institute is adamant that this will help boost the sales in the Japanese market. And we now join Sinifa from HFC Bank with the latest from the trading world.
Bula, looking at what's topping the economic headlines. It's a busy week in the markets, particularly for the pound, with the upcoming release of key UK economic data, the Bank of England's rate decision, and perhaps more importantly, Brexit-related headlines. Indeed, sterling reacted more significantly to Brexit headlines than it did when the UK's GDP data was released, showing a positive trend. We have the Europe Central Bank's rate decision and the US Consumer Price Index on Thursday, with retail sales figures due on Friday. Chinese inflation figures came in better than expected, but didn't ease market stress as traders keep one foot in safe haven assets while bracing for further trade war tariffs. It will be interesting to see how all these data releases impact our Fiji dollar currency, if any at all. That's all from HFC Bank for now. Vinaka.
Thanks, Anifa. Taking a look at the currency exchange rate set this morning for the Fijian dollar. Our dollar gained against the Chinese yuan, the US dollar, the Kiwi dollar, as well as the Kina and the Japanese yen, but slipped slightly against the Aussie and the euro. As for the commodities market, the price of oil continued downwards, closing at $67 a barrel. Gold dropped down as well to close at $1,193 an ounce, and silver closed the day at $14.12 an ounce. And in growing Fiji tonight, increased cruise tourism and trade are leading to rise in the passenger and cargo movement through Fiji's ports. Fiji Ports Corporation Limited Chair Shine Ali says to meet the increased passenger and cargo demands, they will upgrade the current facilities in Suva and work on developing a new one. He says with the new port, they're considering a number of new sites, including Namelimeli in Namosi Province, Momi Bay near Nandi, and Dawasamu in Tailevu. He says these plans are in the initial stages because they have to do assessments. And that's business for tonight. Jamie joins you now with sports.
Thank you, Rachel, and good evening. Up ahead in sports, Fiji and Drua wraps up preparations at home. And Fiji under 16 makes second half comeback to beat Samoa. This and more after the break.
Hi, I'm Jyotishma. I'm from Singatoka. I love listening to Mirchi FM. Mirchi FM is hot.
Mirchi FM is #1.
I'm Charlene Robert. Mirchi FM rocks in Lambasa.
I'm Soname Nasori Jackson. Mirchi FM is hot.
My name is Raymond Dutt. I'm in Baba Singh Alliance. Mirchi FM is hot in Lambasa.
I'm Kritika from Jax Nasori. I love listening to Mirchi FM here in Nasori. Mirchi FM is hot.
Mirchi FM, it's hot.
Fiji Airways Ndrua coach Sinirusi Sirwakula confirms his squad is injury-free as it prepares for round 3 of the National Rugby Championship this weekend. The side held its last training session this afternoon and fly to Brisbane tomorrow. Meli Tavanga reports.
The Fijian Drua are well taken care of in camp as they brace for the crucial match against the NRC defending champions Queensland country.
Everything has been going well, injury-free, and the boys are ready for another game, which is going to be tough. It will get tougher every week as we go forward, and every Australian team they will be reviewing our game and trying and stop the momentum of the Drua.
The players have been reminded to stay focused for Saturday.
They had a good forward pack, so they will try and take us on during our set piece from the line out and the scrum, and I think they will be doing a lot of mauling and try and put pressure to our boys.
The team leaves tomorrow to play Queensland country Saturday at 5 p.m. in Brisbane's BB Prince Stadium. Meli Tavanga, FBC Sports.
Next year's Rugby World Cup could be the final edition of the tournament that's contested by 20 nations. The Fiji football under-16 team was lucky enough to beat Samoa 3-2 in its opening OFC Championship match in the Solomon Islands yesterday. Fiji was trailing 2-1 at halftime. However, the players regrouped and scored 2 quick goals in the second spell. Vasnil Prasad reports.
The Samoa football well against Fiji, scoring 2 early goals in the first half. Fiji pulled one back but were still struggling. The national team finally picked up momentum in the second half with captain Josiah Sela scoring twice. Fiji coach Yogen Radat says his players settled late into the game.
It was, as we expected, it would be tough and it was tough. This is because Samoa is a strong team. Physically, they are very strong.
It was evident that Samoa gave up in the last 45 minutes.
No excuse, but the first half we were doing really well. But the matter of fact, that we do some silly mistakes that cost us.
Fiji takes on Tahiti in its next match at 11 a.m. on Thursday. Vasnil Prasad, FBC Sports.
5 young Fijian baseball players have just returned from a seminar at the World Children's Baseball Fair in Japan, where they learned more on the sport and its global reach. Baseball Fiji believes being part of the initiative is a positive indication of the success of its outreach programs. Meli Tavanga reports.
Still a minor sport in this country, Baseball Fiji and the Softball Association are targeting the game at the grassroots level, nurturing our youngsters to choose baseball.
5 of us, 5 of the boys went, and it was really enjoyed. It was really a fun for us, yes.
The 10-day Japanese seminar has opened the minds of our youngsters to developing their baseball skills.
A very good opportunity for the sports itself and for the development of the boys and for the interest regarding the sports. We went there and we saw how big these sports, how big this sport, the baseball, in Japan and in other countries.
The sport itself has grown since its inception here in 2001.
In terms of development, in 2012, after the 2011 Pacific Games, we started this grassroots community initiative, and we've seen it's been a success.
The World Children's Baseball Fest seminar was introduced to promote baseball throughout the world, and the Fiji Baseball Association hopes to keep building the sport here. Melita Wang, FBC Sports.
There's been a lot of debate over Serena Williams' tennis tantrum at the US Open. Williams had a meltdown in her loss to Naomi Osaka and went to the extent of calling the umpire sexist. TVNZ takes a look at both sides of the argument. In today's play of the day, Italian MotoGP2 rider Romano Fenati is facing calls for a life ban after pulling a rival's front brake during the San Marino GP overnight. Fenati rode alongside compatriot Stefano Manzi, pulling his brake while traveling at speeds of 225 kilometers an hour. That's it from Sports Tonight. Join Angie later on with weather. And in new media, a new study shows that people are seeking plastic surgery to look like Snapchat filters. Details coming up.
Narang golesenya, Obama kita nakas, dorong binakabe na radio Fijuan nandong ibit.
Ayaw benyana dito barongon na radio Fijuan nandong ibisi hinatoka.
Guado ilaisa ingatoka, rong binana hera makawa ina radio Fijuan hingatoka.
Radio Fijuan nandong ibiti.
In new media tonight, recent research shows people are going to extreme lengths to change their looks. Many are seeking plastic surgery to look like Snapchat filters. And we now join Angie for weather.
Hello there and welcome to the Weather World. Hope you're loving the change in the weather pattern. It's so cool and rainy. Finally, some time off from the mugginess and sticky conditions. Now gather your warm wear and blankets as we brace for a cold night. Taking a look in the west, partly sunny, but the nights are pretty chilly. Eastwards from Haberasuva, cool and mostly rainy. And up north, light drizzles with more expected. At sea, southeast winds 15 to 20 knots, moderate to rough seas. For the tides, low tide at 2 a.m. with high tide at 8:10 a.m. Sunrise at 6:04. For tomorrow, continue taking your umbrellas to work as there is more showers on the forecast. Tomorrow's temps, it's looking cool as it will only rise up to 31 degrees. And looking further on to Thursday, this wet weather will still be in the picture, but don't worry, we'll get over it soon. And that's love from the FBC Weather World. Ako.
Thanks, Angie. In Fijian Pulse tonight, we ask, should police officers involved in drug trade be prosecuted?
Yes, I think that is correct because what they did was wrong.
A policeman should be charged and also taken to the court.
The police officer should be an example to the people in Fiji and they should be taken to court.
I think that harsher penalties should be introduced, irrespective of whether they are, police officers or even military officers.
Yeah, they should be taken to task. They should be prosecuted.
In the world of the weird and not so wonderful, a new US study finds that when temperatures around the world start creeping up, crop-eating insects will not only become hungrier, they increase numbers. This means more insect damage to wheat, corn and rice crops, and therefore less food on the dinner table. And recapping our main stories tonight, increased trade forces tighter border cooperation, village contemplates relocation due to sea level rise, and police seek new ways to stop traffic violators. For these stories and others, you can tune in daily to our sister radio station, Gold FM. And to our poll question segment this week, we are asking, are we doing enough to conserve water during this prolonged dry spell? Visit our FBC website to answer. And before we go, our shot of the day sent in by Nitan Prasad from Nepani Nasinu. Watching butterflies are always fascinating. And you can send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email fbcnews@fbc.com.fj or share with us our Facebook page FBC News. Or you can also follow and tweet us your news tips at FBC News or simply hashtag FBC News. And that was FBC News for tonight. From the team and I, have a safe and enjoyable week.
मैं नवनीत नंद नंबुआ लुम्बुआ से। जैसे ट्रेनी नॉर्थ मशहूर है वैसे रेडियो फीजी 2 भी सभी जगह मशहूर है। रेडियो फीजी 2 देश की धड़कन।
सीमा नकाशी से मैं रेडियो फीजी 2 पसंद करती हूँ सुनने के लिए। रेडियो फीजी 2 देश की धड़कन।
मैं हूँ अंकल किंग सिंगाटोका टाउन के टैक्सी ड्राइवर। जैसे रग्बी फेमस है वैसे रेडियो फीजी 2 फेमस है।
रेडियो फीजी 2 देश की धड़कन।